Hello, everyone. This is Mihaela with Hey Stella Podcast. I am in Cairo, Egypt, for an international festival, a gathering of different teachers, experts from all over the world. I arrived just the day before after having not slept for maybe 20 hours. And right before I went to sleep last night, I had such a huge realization. Everything became so clear in the moment. I don't think I've had this sense of being in the moment and present and understanding that one can be appreciative of the experiences that he or she is living, but you can also feel that you have it in you to be able to do so much more. I don't think I've had this realization as clear, as specific as I did yesterday, sitting in my room. So, first of all, I'm appreciative for what I am doing, for being here. I'm appreciative to be given the opportunity to meet people, to work with students, with artists. But at the same time, I am knowledgeable and was made knowledgeable again of the work that I'm here to share with the artist, the work of acting, which in countries that I've been privileged to be invited to go to and share the work, it is so sad to know that the work is not known. And for me, who's done this work for so many years, there is a deep sadness knowing that it could be of so much benefit to so many people, not only actors, not only artists, but people in different professions, people in general. The tools of acting are the tools for life. And I have been trying to convey this for so many years, and I still haven't been able to put it up on a platform, on a global stage. Just saying that makes me feel that I am arrogant. I feel that I will be judged for having this belief. But then at the same time, when I think of all the people who had ideas or visions of what the future needs, they probably must have felt the same. I don't think anybody reaches a point in their life when they feel so secure within themselves to be able to say, I am prepared and I am 100% sure that my idea is going to be one that's going to change a lot of people. It's going to bring people together, which I know it sounds such a cliche in so many ways. And I know people have rolled their eyes at me when I've said it. And I have people who don't even get it. So then I think, how the hell am I supposed to be doing this when I can't even convey to people what it is that I'm talking about? Clarity, clarity, clarity. Even now, I have a difficult time putting it into words because the fear inside of me is telling me not to give too much away, to have some other person take the idea and run with it. So I've been keeping it, I've been hiding it due to the fear of having it being stolen. What I wanted to focus on in this episode of Hey Stella podcast is trying not to put on the brave face that everybody is probably doing in everyday life in order to show a perfect satisfaction with what we are and who we do, especially with social media and all the pictures that we face on Facebook and Instagram. We're always portraying pictures to make sure that people understand that we're leading a great life. And as I was traveling from New York, a long trip, having not sufficient sleep, sometimes when you're tired, you let go of the facade that you try to keep on as a human being to please or to please yourself or to give the impression that everything is perfect and there are no thoughts of doubt or fear or so many other things. But something happened due to the sleepless night on the plane and then getting to the hotel, being too wired up to sleep, some miscommunication with the transportation, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into it because that doesn't matter. Everybody's doing their best with everything. But even saying that everybody's doing their best with everything is me trying to make sure that I come out and I maintain the politeness that I have. I'm a polite person. I'm so polite. Therefore, I'm not going to fault anybody for the miscommunication in transportation. I'm not going to fault anybody for all sorts of things because you can't blame other people for things that you are not doing yourself first. Clarity, a moment of clarity last night. I am questioning, I'm questioning as I am looking outside from my balcony, and I have the most beautiful view of the Nile River in Cairo, as I said, Egypt. And at the same time, feeling like I was having a panic attack. My heart started to beat so fast and then it skipped beats. And I was actually here by myself in the room and I was thinking, please God, I actually was praying to God, which I should do much more than I usually do. And I was praying to God to not let me have a heart attack in a foreign country with nobody around that I know outside of the professional people that I'm here with. And I got such a aha moment. All of a sudden, I realized that being in a place and having experiences such as this one, being in a country that's as beautiful with people who are really wonderful, enjoying that can also leave room to feel dissatisfied, not necessarily dissatisfied with anything that's exterior, that's outside of you, but dissatisfied with myself. Does that mean that I'm wrong in the way that I'm thinking? The expectations that we put on ourselves are for me to, in this environment, feel completely 100% happy and excited to be here. You can have those feelings, but at the same time, you can also have the opposite feelings. The contrary feelings and the conflict between those two things, which are completely the opposite, are what make human beings beautiful. When I work on a character with artists, I always emphasize the importance of having the conflict, the inner conflict, besides everything else that the play or the script gives you, that you can get from the text. If you do not have a conflict, an inner conflict, if you do not have contrary ideas, if you do not have contrary feelings, nobody wants to watch that character for more than a few minutes because we can identify watching that character not to be a complex whole being. The fear can also be there on top of the joy or vice versa, depending which one you feel mostly in the moment. And I was sitting in the room and I was appreciating everything around me, but at the same time, I felt like crying, but I wasn't crying. It was one of those rare moments where I did not cry. Usually, I am so mechanically trained to be able to cry whenever something is happening within me, whenever something scares me, whenever a doubt or doubts appear, I go to crying. But this time there was no crying. I think because I was so tired and I was so exhausted and so without sleep. The mechanical way of the way that I do things and I release the fear or the doubt was not there. And that was aha moment for me because that's what I'm thinking about again when working on characters. And I encourage the students and the artists that I work with to not go to the mechanical habitual behaviors that we all have, because if we allow ourselves only those thoughts that we think are expected of us, or only those thoughts that we expect of us, we will miss out on so much more richness that's underneath. There's a depth of richness of so many different emotions and so many different expressions that if you keep going to the usual place of thinking, you're not going to be surprising yourself. You're not going to be surprising yourself. You're not going to allow yourself an open instrument to experience what else is there. What else is there? For me, this happened last night, like I said, because I didn't go to crying. So I didn't go to crying, and that led me to kneel down next to my bed in the hotel and to pray to God for the first time in a very long time. And that realization made me think that I have to pray to God much more often than I do. That also led me to believe that I am a stronger person, a much stronger person than what I think I am. And that also led me to believe that on top of the doubt and on top of the fear of having a panic attack or having a heart attack, that's how I felt last night, there's also greatness. There's also a place within me that's still confident. And that confidence was revealed through the fear, through the pain, psychological pain and emotional pain that I was feeling, and even physical pain. The confidence that I tapped into and the greatness inside of me that I tapped into. And now that I'm saying those things, I already feel arrogant for saying those things because I'm already thinking, oh, the people that are going to be listening to this or watching this are going to think, what an arrogant human being she is. Who does she think she is? More than us to be able to be confident and great, to consider herself to be confident and great. And I am saying, I am. I am confident and I am great. And everybody else is, because that's inherited in us. We have that in us. That's how we were made, to have all of that. We usually tap into the ones that go to the negative thoughts, they go to the doubts, they go to the fear. That's where we go to, because that in our teachings, our entire lives, were the things that were polite for us to experience. Those were the things that were polite for us to express. Because as soon as you go to the other ones, to the confidence and to the greatness, ooh, you sound arrogant. Ooh, oh my God, what's going on with you? Are you okay? Is everything okay? Because we revealed the things that we already have within us. We were granted those things by a higher power, by the universe, by, I don't know, whoever you believe in. I haven't even begun. I don't know which one is correct, but I don't care which one is correct. I'm not going to stop myself and doubt again what is the correct way of pronunciation or what is the grammatical correct way of saying it. I don't care which one it is. We have all of those beautiful gifts inside of us as people that we have to tap into much more often than we tap into the doubts and the fears. As I was sitting here again, and I wasn't able to sleep because I was so wired up from the trip and I couldn't sleep on the plane at all. I don't know why I couldn't sleep, but I couldn't. I think I was a little bit nervous about coming to Cairo, which is the first time for me. I've been to Alexandria, but I haven't been to Cairo. Traveling with a pandemic, not pandemic, I don't even know what's going on in the world anymore, because one day people say one thing and the next day people say another thing. I was able to have a clarity for like a moment where that doubt went to the side and it became so much smaller than the greatness inside of me. And I started to realize that this work that I'm here for, this international gathering for universities, this work that I'm sharing, this acting work that I am so grateful and privileged to share, is something that is so profound and is something that is so relevant to the success of understanding ourselves as human beings, not just for actors, not just for artists, but to every human being experiencing this precious gift that we were given, life. This acting work that I'm sharing, I've been in it my entire life, beginning from Romania, coming to New York, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into the history, sharing in the way that I understand it. That's why the name Mihud Method, because I do not want to portray that I'm teaching method acting as taught by Lee Strasberg. I wasn't around when Lee Strasberg was still alive and the artistic director of the Actor Studio. So when I put Mihud Method as the method that I teach, I am assuming responsibility for who I am. I am assuming responsibility for teaching the work as I understand it, as I have practiced it. And the realization of the importance of this work in trying to convey to people is still a difficult task for me. I still am as surprised to know how many people outside of the small circle of members of the Actor Studio, or some few actors in the state or in the world who happen to work with coaches who have been trained in method acting. When you look at all this big and beautiful world, so many people who I have had over the years the privilege to engage with in conversations, in talks about their work, there's just a few who understand the importance of it, the importance of its training, emotional training, psychological training, physical training, educational. There's so many benefits to this work that it is incredible to me that I'm not able to get it across on a larger scale. I still cannot get it across. And then I think all of these other people that have come up with something that gave them a step ahead in the future, or they were able to see the need of the people for the future before the people even saw that they needed it. Did they have the same doubts? Did they have the same fears? Did they have the same overwhelming feeling of appreciating that they know something? They know of something that is going to help in the long run a huge group of people. Did they feel confident from the beginning? Did they reach a point? Did they get to a point where they knew for sure and they felt confident and prepared to be able to translate and to be able to put into words that which is what they wanted to realize, to put their vision into practice? And I think that's where I am right now. I think coming here was wonderful for all the things that you can imagine. It was wonderful. But on top of it, I think I had an epiphany. I think I had one of those moments, and I know people might probably think, or they won't, but see how I'm automatically going to, people are going to think that I'm crazy, that I'm having this existential crisis, and it's okay. If that's what I'm having, that's what I'm having. I just am so tired of putting on the face and the facade where it's like, hi, this is me, and I'm going to present to you today this, and I know this, and I know that. And I'm so tired from it. I think I'm just so tired from it. And I'm not tired because of the flight coming here or because of something that's happened within the past week. I'm tired of a lifetime of putting on the facade, of presenting myself in a way that's going to always ask for approval from my peers, from the artists that I work with. I'm physically, emotionally, psychologically exhausted. I've had it with doing what the expectations are. I know there's more than that. I know there's so much more than that. And I pray and I hope that I have the strength and I have the bravery and I have the greatness that I have discovered, and I have been able to tap into so much deeper within this coming to Cairo, to keep me going and to not wait for the right moment to come to do the great thing that I've always wanted to do. I keep doing these smaller things. I keep doing the safe things. I keep doing the small steps that are not going to bother anyone. I keep staying somewhere in between. Let me not go so far, and at the same time, let me still try to do this. Let me convey that I am worthy of this work. Let me say yes to the international festivals so I can prove myself to myself. I'm not even saying that anybody's asking me to prove myself to them. I'm doing it because I keep wanting to prove myself, as if I'm not enough, as if I still don't know anything about what I'm doing, as if I'm still having to, let me do this workshop. So more students are going to understand, and they're going to be so in awe of this work. And then I'm going to feel like I know what I'm talking about. Then there's a next festival, and then there's a next festival. And I'm not even saying that this is not amazing and wonderful to be doing this, but there's something that's so much bigger than that, that I could have been working on, and I should have put in the same amount of work into as I am into these other experiences. I am always searching for people. Do you see that I know what I'm talking about? Do you understand that what I'm saying is of importance, not only to you as a director or as an actor or as a playwright, but as a human being? Do you understand that? Do you understand that the tools that acting provides are tools for you, for anybody to have at their fingertips, to know how to try to come to the understandings that I've come to myself, having done it for so long, and it's still taking me time to process it and to do the same practice that I'm asking the students to do when it comes to myself. I can't even tell you. It was just one of those moments that I am going to carry with me, and I am going to lean on anytime that I want to go back to my small life. Yeah, I put pictures out when I travel. Let me put a picture so I can show everybody that I'm traveling, so I can show everybody that I'm being invited to go to international festivals. Let me put this picture out. Let me put this picture out. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that for? Why am I always having to convey to people that I'm sufficient and I'm staying within these kind of safe environments? Because how dare I think that I can do something bigger? How dare I think that? Let me wait for somebody else who's great and who has the capacity and the confidence that's going to take me there. Let me speak to this person who's going to give me the permission, who's going to say, yes, you can do all those things. Yes, you are great enough to be able to do those things. There's no such person, because no matter how many people come from outside, no matter how many people are going to tell you that over and over again, it's not going to feel within you. You're not going to earn it unless you get to process it, unless you get to feel it, unless you get to experience it, and go for it. How much longer am I going to wait to be able to feel that I'm prepared to be able to take myself to the next level? When? I'm going to wait another 10 years? Am I going to be here another 10 years? I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. The moment to moment work the actors are required to work for, then why shouldn't we in everyday life? Why should we not do what we know with the doubt and with the fear underneath? Because it's got to be underneath. Those have to be underneath for the greatness and the confidence to be able to maintain. If it's not being maintained on fear and doubt, then there's no such thing as the other ones. What am I waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What do you need? What do you need? Do you need someone to tell you something, to think of yourself as a great person? What do you need? I already know what I need. I don't need for myself to get the approval, or at least I know now how to get to that place inside of myself to depend on, to be able to take this work to the next level, to be able to take myself to the next level. What I see this work to be is of such importance, It's going to help anybody to have an inside look into the way that we can appreciate and observe our behavior and know how to use that and navigate that to keep improving ourselves and to keep believing in ourselves more times than the times that we don't believe in ourselves, to make the next huge step. All these small steps, so as not to fall. Take a leap and do whatever you want to do. It's okay to say that you are confident, and it's okay to say that you are great. Because if you didn't, then it would mean that you have no idea what's going on within yourself. Because we all have that, as I said it before. So if you're not appreciating it, if you're going to keep quiet about it because you want to be polite and you don't want to make people find you arrogant, then that means that you're not an observer of what's going on. And without the observer part of ourselves, we're never going to be able to take an inventory to find out, to figure out where we are in our lives, to go on, to do those things that you know inside of yourself that you are capable of doing. Go, be bold, and believe in your confidence as yours without expectations from somebody else to approve of it, because you have it. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you so much.